Hello and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Discovering Myself. And episode 1 here. And excuse my studio, this is as good as it's going to get because I don't have more room to set up anywhere else. I'm going to call myself R just to maintain some anonymity because I am not used to being public about myself. I'm definitely out of my wheelhouse in comfort right now, so I may sound a bit nervous, and hopefully that'll change over time. But the reason I'm creating this channel is to discuss transitioning in your 50s. I'm 54 years old, and I know I've wondered if I've missed the boat, and maybe you're watching because you're wondering if you missed the boat. But from what I'm told is, no, I haven't. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Basically, what I'm going to cover on this channel is my whole process, both the physical changes, the emotional experiences I may have, even the social conflicts or not conflicts I may run into as I progress through this. So I guess I need to start from the beginning, well before I even knew that I could be trans. And that's probably back in my teens. I was, and I still hate to admit this, even after having discussed it with other people, but I have cross-dressed probably for 4 decades now. And in the early days, it was all about the excitement of doing it. Ooh, I was doing something naughty, something you're not supposed to do. And of course there was a sexual element to it too. It got me excited. And that went on for years. And there were times where I would get rid of in the beginning I was borrowing my sister's clothes from time to time, and then I would started getting my own, found ways to buy it off eBay or something like that and sneak it into the house. But then I would get rid of wardrobes, get rid of stuff. Then I'd get pulled back in where, now I want to do that again, get the itch, do it again. Oh, that's fun. Let's do that again, buy more stuff. Do that a few times up until the last time, which was 3 years ago, almost exactly 3 years ago. I actually had a really bad back injury that pretty much laid me up, and I panicked a bit because now I was in my 50s, and I thought, oh shoot, I may need a nurse to come in here, and I don't want her seeing all of that women's clothing. So I got rid of it all. I got rid of it all. Gone. And up until just maybe 6 months ago, it was fine. I didn't have any. I just was living my life, going through life, and that itch came back again. That'd be fun to do that again. And I bought a few things, which turned into a few dozen things, which turned into a lot of stuff. But the strange thing was, this time it wasn't about getting sexually excited. And that was like, that's different. That's the first moment I'm like, oh, why does this not hit the same way as it did before? And I started researching a little bit, just out of curiosity. It's like, let's go on YouTube and just meddle around a little bit and see if I can sort of figure this out. I'm researching online too, trying to understand the psychological side of why do I even want to dress this way, And slowly but surely, I was starting to figure out what was going on, and started talking to people on Reddit like, yeah, what am I doing? 54. Do I really, am I, am I really doing this is this right? Is this wrong? What am I doing? And it was definitely a confused state. I tried, Chat GPT and started talking that for a while, trying to get my head wrapped around things as well. Started thinking about going to a therapist. I hadn't. I decided I was trying to stay anonymous about the whole thing, which is just the way I was. Nobody knows anything about this, and I didn't want anybody to know about it. So, trying to do everything from a third person position. And over time, I started to figure out, okay. Yeah, this is starting to sound like maybe I am trans. And the more I talked, the more it was looking that way. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I could see myself getting there. And I kind of had a weight lift off my shoulders when that happened. It was, I've noticed I've been pretty grumpy in the past few years, and all of a sudden I don't feel so grumpy now while I'm talking about this. That's unusual, and I started to talk myself into it. Okay, I can see myself doing this. I could picture myself going through it. All right. So it was definitely improving my mood when I was thinking this. And then the first big doubt wave hit. The brainworms really struck. And they're like, nope, what the hell are you doing? You're freaking 54 years old. What the hell are you doing? You don't want to do this. Are you crazy? You're going to flip your whole freaking life upside down. You got to be out of your mind. No, you aren't doing this. And I decided, and I posted on Reddit, no, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I made it definitive. No, I'm not going to do this. And I didn't make it a week before that caused a big wave of depression. And there's this thing that gets in your head. Wait a minute. What if? And it just keeps gnawing away at you. I'm like, oh man. And that's that dysphoria part of it. At least the way I interpreted dysphoria, I know it's different for everyone. Some people are physically upset by it. I'm not. I'm like, you can see, I'm in men's clothing right now. I'm totally okay with that. And when I'm wearing women's clothing, I'm totally okay with it. I guess what you would want to call gender fluid, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just happy either way. But I'm going to get into more of why I'm having just a little bit of a hiccup there. But yeah, so that got bad. And yeah, I was in a really lousy mood then. And I'm like, now I'm in a lousy mood when I say I don't want to do this. I was in a great mood when I say I do. That seems like I should be paying attention to that. And I started considering it again. I'm like, all right, is this really the end of the world if I were to do this? And I'm like, well, no, it's not the end of the world. It's a change, for sure. It's a huge change. It's a massive I've seen so many YouTube videos of people explaining this is the biggest change you're going to go through in your life. It's going to affect you in so many ways. I'm like, okay. But most people that do are very glad when they come out the other side, which can be 3 to 5 years down the road. Some people even faster. They're going, my God, why didn't I do it sooner? And that thought crosses my mind too, but the thought wasn't there before. It just wasn't 5 years ago. Never would have crossed my mind to do this. So that's another interesting aspect of it as well. So as I started to say, okay, I may actually be going to do this, I started throwing some levers and gears into kind of preparing for it. And the first one was, I was 165 pounds. I'm 5'7". It's not horrendous, but it's not great. So I went on a diet, and I also started going to the gym, and now I'm down to 146, which is great. Stomach's getting tight. I'm real happy about that, because basically I wanted to make the best canvas for starting this process if I was going to go through with it. So I wanted to get myself into pretty good shape. I finally built up the nerve to actually talk to somebody, which was an endocrinologist. Finally admit to somebody for the first time in where I'm not in an anonymous state. I have to face them face to face and say, yeah, this is what I want to do. And she was really cool about it. But she would not let me start until I was willing to tell at least one other person that I can trust and to give me support to, I had to come out to somebody. She's like, I'm not going to let you continue this on your own. You have to, at the very least, come out to one person. And she said she prefers that I do find a therapist, because I'm in for a wild ride. And of course, I don't know what to expect. This is definitely going to be interesting, but everybody else in those YouTube videos and everybody on Reddit says, yeah, you probably want to find a therapist to have somebody to talk to for all kinds of new psychological things you're going to run into along the way. So I'm like, all right. So fortunately, I did know somebody that I was going to eventually come out to, though I was intending on doing it after I started HRT, to admit it, because obviously at some point people are going to see the physical changes, and 2 and 2 is going to get put together one way or another. I will not be able to hide it forever. So that was the person I chose, and I knew I could choose her with support because I already knew she was a lesbian, and I live in a very conservative area, so it's a very unusual thing. But I knew she would understand when I would tell her. What I wasn't prepared for was just how supportive she was. Above and beyond, unbelievable. I mean, she made it so easy for me to come out and talk to her about it. I mean, it was incredible. She should be a freaking therapist or a counselor or something. That's how good she was. So that was like, whew, that weight was lifted so easily. Took a while for me to build up the nerve to even talk to her, but I hunkered down and decided I got to do it. There's no other way to go forward. So did it, and that was great. And I said, all right, I'm going to book an appointment with a therapist as well. Now, today is February 14th, 2026. I have an appointment with a therapist on the 18th. So that's just 4 days away. And that's just for, I'm going to call it just a general introduction. That's how it's going to go. Because I'm not having any problems right now. I've worked through all the heavy early stage realizations of that whole elation and the doubt pulls, which are incredibly difficult. And I'm told once I start the HRT, you're going to have more of those deep doubts that you're going to have to navigate. So that'll be fun because they are intense. Even when you are fully aware that it's just a phase, it hits you like it's life and death. It is the strangest thing when you're aware that it's just a phase of your emotions adjusting, and yet it feels so real. The doubt is so bad. So yeah, I got all that to deal with. So that's why, again, the endo wanted me to have a support person, preferred I had a therapist. So yes, building those support structures is probably a good idea. So yeah, like I said, you see me wearing men's clothing. I'm happy wearing men's clothing. I like wearing women's clothing both ways. I'd be more than happy to wear women's clothing out in public, but I don't, for the simple fact that I do have a concern for everyone else. I'm more worried about what everyone else thinks and feels more than I am how I think and feel for myself. And like, if I wanted to clock back 5-10 years, and if I saw a guy just out in public wearing women's clothing, I would think it's nuts. I would make me uncomfortable seeing that. And I get that. And I know if I were to do it, I'm going to make other people uncomfortable being out there. And I don't want to do that. And I know a lot of people are like, no, it's not the way you got to think. You gotta be you. You gotta. And it's like, no, I don't have to do it that way, and I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to be pushy about it. I don't even want to make this my entire identity. Like, I'm a trans woman. Hear me roar. No, I just no. I just want to quietly do this and let it happen as naturally as I can. So yeah, that's the main hiccup that I think I finally struck when I realized, all right, if I'm gonna want to continue being happy, I'm probably going to have to transition and slowly and surely, hopefully, get to a point where, and I know the trans community has been, the trans women that have gone through this 5 years down the road aren't going to like this word. I'm looking to pass to become convincingly female before I really want to take that next step into dressing the part and all that. So that's just me. I just want it to be as easy on me and as easy on everyone else as possible. I just want it to flow, and that's what I'm going to go for. Somebody coined the phrase male fail on Reddit, which I kind of like that. It's like, I'm going to stay male in public until I can't pull it off anymore. And they're going to, I'm waiting for somebody to go, what the hell are you waiting for? Just freaking finish what you started. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. That's what I want. I just want it to be accepted. Like, I don't want to force it. I just want it to happen. So that's what I'm going for. So, here's the deal. I actually picked up the medications, the estrogen and the anti-androgens, which, will start this process, the physical process, and I guess the psychological process too. It's going to affect both. So the plan is I'm T-1 day away. I want to start tomorrow morning, And these videos will then go through what I'm going through. And some of them probably will be short follow-ups when nothing much happens. I'll just say, hey, I'm still out here. Other ones, if significant things happen, we'll have longer videos, and we'll just keep that going. And you and I will get to see what somebody at 54 is going to go through. And I don't know. Can you see a female face here? I can't hardly see it. Only when I've used Face app and played with it a little bit, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. It doesn't actually take a ton to get there, so this may just be possible. So yeah, the future of the channel, we already discussed some of that. Just whatever follow-ups as time goes on. But down the road, I'll probably want to do some Q&A, so you can put your questions down there in the comments. And maybe we'll even do live streams at some point. I don't know how well that goes. Kind of hard to keep up with a live stream, but it can be beneficial too. So I'm putting that out there that could happen as well in this channel if it gets the attention I kind of hope it will, and it helps people that I hope I can help. Then yeah, maybe we'll actually have a real studio somewhere where I can, do something a little more professional than this setup and see what happens. So yeah, I guess like and subscribe and comment, and see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.